Hi, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Excuse the mess behind me, I had to move things around a little bit. I've just got back from the Commander pre-release at the Mug and Meeple. This is not a sponsored video, I'm just saying that's where I was at. And I thought I'll do a quick impression stream since I'm sitting here. Was it good? Yes. Was it fun? Yes. Did I win any of the pods I was in? No. But I came second in one and got knocked out really early in the second one. The actual streaming itself, streaming, wrong thing, drafting, let's use the right wording, is really good fun. It's a real challenge for a lot of people who have never done a commander draft before. Picking the two cards is always a difficult thing to do. But I was lucky, I have to say. I've got my deck laid out and I'll switch over to it in a minute, and I'll go through it and I'll show some of the cards up to the camera so you can see what's going on. But I managed to go into black-red, so I went to Rakdos, if you want to go Rakdos. I don't know what you'd call it nowadays, but it's still Rakdos to me. And this is what I drafted. I know the camera's not great, I'm trying to sort the quality out so it balances out, but I want to get this out quickly tonight, so this is what I drafted. 10 swamps, 9 island plains, and my commander was this guy. So there you go. Mahur Emporium Master, 1 black red 3/3. At the beginning of your end step, create a treasure token for each creature that died this turn. If it's an artifact with, you know what treasure token is, I don't explain that to you. That's my commander. That was my pack 1 pick 1, along with one of the reprints in the set, Basilisk Collar, which is actually really nice. I didn't actually own one of these until this time, so I'm pleased that came out and I got that. And then the rest of the draft, as you can see, I just went red-black. One of the things I was really happy about so picks 3, 4, 5 and 6, the person next to me just started passing me red. So we got the new fireball and then 3 lightning bolts, which was really good. I was really pleased to get them. After that, next few things I started picking up, and these were, I can't remember which order they were now, but they're all, 2 of them were in pack 1, the third one was in pack 3. Was these Gen size enforcers, myriaded, and they 1/3 for a 1 and 1 red for a 1/3 creature. The second ability, there you go. Whenever this creature attacks, for each opponent other than defending player, you may create a token that's a copy of this creature that's tapped and attacking that player or a planeswalker they control. Exile the tokens at the end of combat. They've got this really nice fire breathing ability on them. So basically your tokens get bigger, and these were really good. This is what took me quite far in the first game I played. Word got round I had 3, which is why it went a bit wrong after that. The other 2 drops I got one of the little backgrounds, which apparently you can play in the deck. Now we're not sure, but we're pretty sure you can play these. This one's very good. Commander creatures you own have 1, sacrifice another creature or artifact. This creature deals 1 damage to any target. With my commander, who's here, who's letting me get treasure tokens, this became a bit of a machine gun, which I was really happy with. So yeah, I was pleased with that. And then I'll just leave the commander there so I can get to it in a second if I need it. Then we had a halfling rogue, a 2/1 for 1 and 1 black. Whenever it attacks, you may pay 1 life if you do create a treasure token, which was kind of nice. And then, just as a bit of filler to one another 2 drop, because there was a lot of 2 drops, Reckless Barbarian, 2/2 for 1 and red, and you can sacrifice it to add 2 red to your mana pool, which is quite useful, I found anyway. 2 drops for spells and artifacts. There's a couple of things that are being reprinted, which I'll start with because you probably all know what they do. Mind Stone is back as an uncommon, and Fire Diamond is also back. But they're at common, and all the diamonds are in the set, which I hadn't realised, so that was really nice to see them. But I only got the red one, I didn't get the black one. Because of what I was doing with the enchantment thing, I was also interested in this. So this is Prize Statue, which is a 2 artifact. When Prize Statue enters the battlefield or is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, create a treasure token. So comes to play, gives me treasure. When I sacrifice it off to ping someone, I get another treasure, which is quite nice. I didn't actually cast this. It's one of the few other removal spells I got outside the lightning bolt and the fireball. Is Merkel's Edict, and you roll a d20 and choose an opponent. That player sacrifices a creature. Each opponent sacrifices a creature on 10 to 19, and on 20, each opponent sacrifices a creature with the greatest power among creatures that player controls. So that's pretty good. The other thing you got was a new bit of equipment. It's 1 and a red, and it's got flash, and when it enters the battlefield you can attach it to target creature, and as long as it's your turn, equipped creature gets +2 and has first strike. This took out some people, which was quite nice. Moving into the 3 drops, these are all new ones. There's nothing we've seen before here, so we'll start with Agent of the Throne. It's another legendary background, and this one says, commanding creatures you have, whenever an artifact or creature you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life. So with the other one where I'm sacrificing artifacts, I'm basically pinging a creature and making my opponent lose a life. And in some cases I was making my opponent lose 2 life, which was even better. Next one is another legendary creature. I'm not sure on the artwork, I'm not sure I like this artwork, but Gut, True Soul Zealot. 2 and a red for a 2/2, and whenever you attack you may sacrifice another creature or an artifact. If you do, create a 4/1 black skeleton creature token with menace that's taps and attacking. This was really good. I could have played this as my commander with one of the black backgrounds and still had the same deck, so I was really happy to see this. And thinking about it logically, this is probably the commander I should have played, but I played the other one because it was bigger basically, and I'll be funny. Patron of the Arts is very nice. It's a 3/1 for 2 and a red, and it says when it enters the battlefield or dies, create a treasure token. You get my theme, so that was quite useful. And it's also a dragon, which kind of does have some effects in this game, and I'll come on to them in a minute. One of the reprints I was happy to see that came back in this set was Murder. So we all know what Murder does. 2 black and 1 destroy target creature as an instant. That's fine. It's nice removal. Dealt with some stuff. The other artifact that's sitting in this pile is Navigation Orb. 3 to cast, 2 to activate, sacrifice it, search your library for up to 2 basic land cards or gate cards. Reveal those cards, put 1 onto the battlefield tapped and the other into your hand, then shuffle. So it's pretty much, I don't know, Kodoma's Reach to a certain degree, but it sits there and it goes and gets gate cards, which is really quite useful for this set. The other thing, while I was impressed with the 3/1 guy, was this thing. I got 2 of these things called Breath Weapon. They're instants for 2 and a red, and they say Breath Weapon deals 2 damage to each non-dragon creature. There are a lot of 1 toughness, 2 toughness creatures in this set that aren't dragons. This wiped the board a couple of times for me and kept me in the game 1. And I was really happy about that. So they're pretty good. Going into the 4 drops. We'll start at the top here. I got past this as a rare. When it's a 3 and a red for a 5/3 with trampled, Human Barbarian, and it says when Caves of the Chaos Adventurer enters the battlefield you take the initiative, which is nice because you go into the new dungeon. When Caves of the Chaos Adventurer attacks, exile the top card of your library. That's not focusing very well. If you complete a dungeon, you may play that card this turn without paying its mana cost. Otherwise, you may play that card this turn. It's pretty good, and it gives you trample, which is something that's really short in this set. Other one, a young red dragon for 3 and a red. It's an adventure card. The adventure cards are back, which I hadn't realised, so I'm really glad to see them back. And it says 1 and a red as an instant, create a treasure token. And then for its mana cost, which is 3 and a red, get a 3/2 flying dragon. The only downside is it can't block, but it's fairly good. Final one from the 3 drop set was this. 4 drop point with few was a 0/4 Dragon Bard with Defender, and it says when Stirring Bard enters the battlefield you take the initiative. That's good, gets you through your dungeon again if you haven't got the initiative, which is a bit like Monarch to a certain degree, but yeah. And it also has a tap ability. Target creature gains menace and haste until the end of turn. That's really nice because if you drop this or you drop one of the other creatures, giving it menace and haste is a real benefit in this format, I discovered tonight. The 4 drop, there's only one 4 drop spell, but it is probably one of the better removal spells that I picked up tonight. And Astarian's Thirst, 3 and a red black, and it's actually an instant, and it says exile target creature, put X +1/+1 counters on a commander creature you control, where X is the power of the creature exiled this way. This made my guy very big at some stage, and I was really happy with it, but it's a good removal spell and it deals with anything, which is something that can be a bit of an issue with this set. Moving up to the 5-drops. This is fairly good. It's a bit expensive. It's 4 mana and 1 red. It's got haste. It's a 4/3, but it's got myriaded. So you get it into play and attack, and you're getting copies of it to attack your other opponents as well. So it works quite well. Underdark Explorer, 4 and a black. It's a Lizard Bomber. It's a 5/3. It's got Menace, which is nice. And when Underdark Explorer enters the battlefield, you take the initiative, so you get to go into the new dungeon. And the final one, which unfortunately I didn't cast in either of the 2 games I played tonight, was Nemesis Phoenix. For 3 and 2 red, it's a flying creature for 4/2, and it's got an ability that says 2 and a red, return it from the graveyard to the battlefield, taps and attacking. Activate only during your declare attacker step, and only if you're attacking 2 or more opponents. So when it's down, like it was in our first game, where it's 1 versus 1 basically at the end, it's not much good. But before that, it would have been good. But unfortunately, I never drew it. So, and I don't know what the actual artwork looks like, but this is obviously the other one. Moving on from there, it's Commander, so there's some bigger stuff going on. I'm going to start with the actual higher casting cost things, because the last one's really interesting from a creature point of view. I got a Marat, which is an 8 casting cost artifact construct, trample, for a 7/7. Not the best stats in the world, but when Marat enters the battlefield, if mana from a treasure was spent to cast it, create a treasure token for each mana from a treasure spent to cast it. So basically, if you've got 4 treasures and 4 lands in play, you get this into play really early, and you get your 4 treasures back. So, you know, it is crazily good, especially in a heavy treasure deck, which I was. So I enjoy playing that. That came down 1 game. I've got 2 of these. These are the only real dragons, bigger dragons that I saw. 2 Fang dragons. They're 5 and 2 red for 6/3 flyers if you cast them that way. But they do have an adventure ability, which is quite nice, which basically says 1 and a red. Forktail Sweep deals 1 damage to each creature you don't control. And having 2 of them, as you can see, worked out quite nicely for me during the course of the night when I was wiping some. There was one player out who was playing lots of 1 toughness stuff, and I wiped his board a couple of times. So, and this also had that same effect. 5 and 2 black for Hezero. It's a frog demon of all things, and it says whenever 1 or more creatures you control become blocked, each blocking creature gets -1/-1 to the end of turn. So that's quite nice. But it's also got the adventure ability. Each creature that blocked this turn gets -1/-1 until the end of turn, and it's a 6/6. So, you know, it's not bad. A little bit of removal, but this is the one I want to talk about. I got past this in pack 3, and it's just ridiculously good. So, Furbolg Flutus, 4 and 2 red, is a giant bard, enthralling performance. When the Furbolg Flutus enters the battlefield, gain control of target creature you don't control until the end of turn. Untap it. It gains haste and myriaded. And this is how I came second in the first game I played. Basically, one of my opponents played one of the big legendary dragons, the 6/6 guys. Not the legendary ones, mythic ones, sorry. Wrong word again, but it's late at night, so I'm trying to get this out for you. And it's just stupid, because then it basically attacked my opponent opposite me, attacked back the guy, and because of that, it got 2 tokens out, which attacked him, which killed him, and attacked someone else, which puts them down to lethal for the person I actually eventually lost the pod to. The final card I picked up for my deck, anyway, was Cloudkill. All creatures get -X/-X until the end of turn, where X is the greatest mana value of the commander you own on the battlefield or in the command zone. So because my commander is this one, basically if I cast this, I was giving everything -3/-3. It doesn't sound like much, but there's a couple of creatures, there's a couple of the legendary enchantments that give tokens +2/+2, and a lot of the tokens are 1/1s, so this really did wipe out some of the tokens. Unfortunately, it would have done if I'd ever got to cast it. I had it, I looked at my, after I lost my first pod, I looked at the top of my library and this was the next card and this would have saved me. But hey, that's the way it goes sometimes when you're playing Commander. But it's very good, it's very achievable, and it's quite easy. The other things that I did want to point out with the lands, I was very lucky as well. In Pack 3 I got past the Luxury Suite, which I was really happy about. We all know what these do, so they're fine. And then I did get 2 of the new gates. I got the black one, which I named red on, and I got the red one, which I named black on. So they're pretty good. They come in a play tap, but that's fine. Yeah, I didn't really have that many 1-drops. But the thing I also got, which is the last card I'm going to show you, was actually, Baldur's Gate itself. It's a legendary land gate. Tap to add a colourless, or 2 and tap, add X mana of any one colour, where X is the number of other gates you control. Now, I did use it once because I was short. I needed 2 red mana. And one of my gates came into play that turn tapped, but I had 2 extra black mana floating around and it gave me the red. So if you're playing, you know, there's no real 5-colour commander in this set, but if you've got one of these and you're playing one of the 3-colour commanders, it's really good very quickly. That's basically the deck I played. Like I said, I came second in my first pod. I lost my second pod very rapidly because word got round about the removal I had, and so I was the target. But I was just going to show some of the other things I picked up. What you do get when you go to a pre-release is you get a box, which is quite nice. That's all right. You got those usual pop-out counters. But what I will say is, I had all, as you can see, all my decks are sleeved, and you can actually fit. They've made them a little bit thicker here. And you can actually fit a fully sleeved 60-card deck in there quite happily. You'd probably fit more in, but I put my spare sleeves in here as well. But yeah, that was quite good. I was quite impressed with that. I'm guessing you've all seen the end of the city now. This is the dungeon. It's the only dungeon you can go into. It's a new one in the set. You can't venture. You can't enter this dungeon unless you venture into the Undercity, which is basically what the initiative does. And then it's got secret entrance, get a basic land card, put it into your hand. Then you go whichever way you want to do. You put +1/+1 counters on something, or scry 2, make someone lose 5 life, go to target creature, create a treasure token. If you create the treasure token, you obviously go in to get the 4/1 skeleton the next turn, or if you go to the arena, you then go to archives and draw a card. But the last ability is really good. Which isn't going to focus on my camera for some reason. There you go. Reveal the top 10 cards of your library. Put a creature card from among them onto the battlefield with 3 +1/+1 counters on it. It gains hexproof until your next turn, then shuffle. So that's pretty good. Pre-release cards, because you get one of these, you do get a pre-release card, and we were told by our person running it we could use it. Unfortunately, I got Morphic Pool, which is fine. I've got no problem with that for my real life commander decks, but obviously in this format, not the right colour for me. I did pick up a few other things. I'm just going to go pick out the ones I picked up as commanders. There's a few bits and pieces. There's a few bits of red I didn't play, which I really wasn't that interested in. I'll talk about the commanders. So one of the commanders I did pick up was Mazzy True Sword Paladin, legendary creature Halfling Knight, which is, you know, it's 3-colour one. This is where the gate thing comes in really handy if you get it. Whenever a chance creature attacks one of your opponents, gets +2/+0 and gains trample until the end of turn. Whenever an aura you control is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, exile it until the end of your next turn. You may cast that card. It's actually really quite strong. No one's tonight built around it, purely because there isn't that, they couldn't find that many auras, which was nice. The other one I want to show was Ryzel Riel Kingpin, which is a 3 blue and black death touch for 2/5. Into battlefield, you take the initiative, and when you attack, target attacking creature gains death touch until the end of the turn. If you've completed a dungeon, that creature also gets +5/+0 and gains first strike and menace until the end of turn. This, if you can build around it, is flaming and marvellous. this is what I basically lost to very quickly in the second pod I played tonight. So yeah. The final one I picked up tonight, it's uncommon again, is Commander Lyra Porter. It's a 3 red and white for a 5/3, and it's got an ability that says whenever you attack, spells you cast from exile this turn cost X less to cast, where X is the number of players being attacked. Exile the top X cards of your library. Until the end of turn, you may cast spells from among those that are exiled. I can see it being useful. It would have been really nice in sort of like something else. Unfortunately, it's the wrong colours. I'd really like it in the Prospero deck that we've been playing a bit on the stream. But, you know, that's where it is. So, first impressions, pretty good. I was happy with it. I'm umming and ahhing about going back on Sunday. So there may be a stream on Sunday. It may not be in the afternoon. There'll definitely be one Sunday evening. I can promise you all that. But I thought I'd get a quick video out. And I'm going to get it uploaded now. So, if you've come and watched this, thanks for coming and watching my video. And I'll see you at some stage, hopefully. Can't find my cursor. Where's my cursor? There it is. Let's put that back on. Nope, wrong one. That one. I'm back now. I'll hopefully see you on my next stream. So I hope you enjoyed this quick flick through what I drafted tonight. But it's good fun. I would recommend, if you've got a chance, get to your friendly local gaming store and get in on a draft of this, because this is a really good set and I can see it being really popular very quickly. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you very much for watching this. I'll see you all soon. Bye.